Hey girl!
Hey!
What are you up to?
I'm just prepping for my artist alley in a month.
Did you know you got 5 days?
I'm sorry?
Did you know you have 5 days, you dingus? It is currently the 4th of May. I have an artist alley in 5 days, and there is still so much that needs to get done. I have uni assessments and tests I need to worry about. All I want to do is convention prep. So I thought I'd at least take you along with me. But we will see how we go. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Because a lot of my prints aren't exactly A4, I've got to go ahead and trim a bunch of my prints to size. What can I say? I love a good square, or short rectangles for that matter. I'm sure there's a much easier way to do this, such as one of those guillotine things, but in the meantime and foreseeable future, this is how it's gonna be. And then it's time to, you guessed it, count inventory. I have my prints here. In one pile, I've got some old prints I've restocked. Here I've got a Mel from Arcane, which is one of 2. I actually didn't sell any of this design at the last convention, so I really hope that I can get rid of some of these because I do really like it. But I do absolutely get why this second one is a lot more popular. Mel is so gorgeous. I have her canon design next to her beta design because I had a little peruse through the Arcane art book and I was like, oh my god. Here I've got Eurydice, again, a very unpopular print of mine. I think it may be because people don't necessarily recognize her, but I love this print to death. It's one of my favorite drawings that I've ever done. And evidently so, it's my profile picture. Here I've got Howl. Again, did not sell any of this design. And it is so interesting because this, along with the Eurydice one, both of them are some of my favorite illustrations that I've ever done, and they're just the ones that didn't end up selling. Which is okay because I know their self-worth in my heart, but again, I do think that the problem is in people recognizing it. But I do really think it's so gorgeous. Here I've got Zelda in her lovely Tears of the Kingdom outfit. I still really love this print. I think it's so gorgeous with the blood moon behind her. I can't believe it's already been 2 years since I drew this. That is crazy, and I don't really like to think about it, so let's move on. Here I have Jobu Tupaki from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm so pleasantly surprised every time I sell one of these because I'm like, oh my goodness, people do still care about this movie. Here I have Nico D'Angelo from Percy Jackson. I know I've said it, this is one of my favorite drawings I've ever done so many times, but I truly adore this Percabeth piece that I did way back when. This took so long, but honestly, every single minute was worth it because I still love this so much. I think I did this before the TV show, so I would really love to revisit Percy Jackson fan art because after the TV show released, there's such a big change in how people started drawing the character. There are so many delicious details in this print. I think that Past Me was a genius for this. Annabeth has Wise Girl written on her socks, and instead of the Converse logo, it's a little owl, which is the symbol of Athena. This is where it gets kind of crazy, guys. If you zoom in on their camp necklaces, they are canon to the amount of years that they stayed at Camp Half-Blood, of course, but I spaced them out in a way that they spell out ILY, I love you, in Morse code. Listen, it was just a very, very happy coincidence. The number of beads was both canon and worked perfectly well with that random idea I had. Yeah, I love this print to death. And then here I have Powder and Echo in that one scene in Arcane that has us all in a chokehold. I really love the way I drew Powder here. Echo not so much, but I'll forgive it because it's so cute. And here is a print that I wasn't even planning on selling, and it ended up being my #1 bestseller, and it sold out in like an hour, which is my Avatar Weezer fan art. I don't even know, guys. This is what the people want, and I will deliver. My favorite thing about this piece is how violent the height difference is between Sokka and Toph. It is such a gross exaggeration of what their actual height difference is. It's beautiful. I love it. I think this is where I artistically peaked. And finally is my Huntrix print. I love her so much. And it was really difficult to gauge how many of these I should have prepped this time around because these sold really well at my last convention. But having said that, the last convention was during where K-pop Demon Hunters kind of peaked in popularity. So I was sure to be heavily stocked for this time around, but honestly, I just hope I sell out. I may not bring this back again. But we will see. I have no idea what the people want. I am not the people. The people will speak. And now, here's time for my new babies. I have Christine from Phantom of the Opera in her Think of Me outfit. I love this print so much, and I experimented with my rendering technique, and I think it paid off so well. I just love all of the details on her dress. I would love to have this as an A4 personally, but I just didn't order any A4s because I didn't really sell that many last time, and I didn't want to invest in that. But maybe next time I should get myself an A4. Yeah. And this was a print that I prepared very last minute. I had ordered all of my prints, and then on a study break, I cooked up this little Project Hail Mary piece, posted it. I was like, whatever. I don't even know how happy I am with it. It's kind of messy. My first proper drawing in a while. Kind of rusty. You could say my process in drawing this piece was pretty rocky. Sorry. But it did unexpectedly well on Instagram, so I was like, okay, well, now I have to do it, right? So I drove to the print store, picked just this up. And here is Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us with some clickers behind them. I think this turned out so sick. I do wish that there was a bit more definition to the clickers in the background. On first glance, it kind of just looks like dubious shapes, but I do really, really love this print. Again, I would love an A4 of this, but I just am not that confident that they would sell. Maybe I'll get myself A4s just for me. Here I have the vampire Claudia from Interview with the Vampire. I do think I might have gone a little bit too big with this one. Think it might have done better printed on A5 paper, but you know, she's still alright. She's still gorgeous. And finally, I have Sea Mother and Fujimoto from Ponyo. Oh my god, look at them. It's literally Ponyo's mommy and papa. Like, oh. I love this print so much. Also, is it vain of me to say that I love all the things I draw? Because I realize I've been saying that a lot. But you know what? I'm not going to take that back. I really love this piece. I think it's so pretty. And her hair turns into fishes because she's literally the Mother Sea. Yeah. I'm really excited. I hope she sells well. And if she doesn't, that's okay, because again, I know her self-worth. It's kind of a curse. If I really, really love the piece, it's not gonna sell well. But that is okay. Kind of what I learned during my first convention experience was that merchandise doesn't really sell based off of like the quality. Of course, the artistic quality is important and contributes to how likely people are going to buy it, but I was surprised to learn how much to rely on popularity of the subject matter and recognizability. These prints didn't sell very well at the last convention, and I'm very skeptical that they will this time, so I'm gonna sell these at a discounted price, hoping they go. The A4s I get because they are pretty big. Sometimes a design does call for the A4, especially the more complex ones, such as Huntrix, which I did sell A4s for, understandably, but yeah, I get it for these ones. And again, I think the main reason for prints not selling well was recognizability, so I'm going to try and combat that this time with having a tiny little printout of the Ghibli scene next to my Howl and Ponyo prints, so people are going to be like, oh, it's them, oh my god, wow, so pretty, I just have to buy one now. And if it doesn't work, at least I can say I tried. But yeah, it's always so magical seeing your art printed on high quality paper. Look at them all, and now they go into my folder, and now I get to feel like I'm a librarian rummaging through ancient archives. For the last convention, this was my keychain setup. I only had 3, so I just had this little tiny pinup board, But the 15 or so more new additions, this was definitely not gonna work. So I got to work designing a new backboard. Here I'm giving her a little trim. Last year I hung up all my prints with fold back clips, but to my demise I found that they actually left tiny indents in the top. So now I have sworn off of them for the rest of time. Now it's time to move on to keychain prep. Look at all of them, wow. I took one of each keychain and peeled off the back so they're nice and presentable. They came individually packaged, but because this little piece of foam obscures the front and the packaging also takes up a lot of space, I decided to unwrap all of them. But don't worry, I'm reusing the little sleeves. These come especially in handy for putting together my sticker packs. It would make the most logical sense to order my doctors chronologically, but it just so happens that I despise the way I drew Christopher Eccleston. So I'm putting these in order of how much I like how the drawing came out. And you know, I was pretty happy with how I drew 11, until multiple people compared him to Conan O'Brien. So now he's going in the back with the 9, and I've left some individuals since some folks only want their favorites and I've got to accommodate that. My Hadestown Linker keychains don't come assembled, so I've got to forge them together with my own 2 hands. And now it's time for, you guessed it, more inventory. And now here we have them all lined up looking incredible. I can and will be keeping some of these for myself, don't tell anyone. Anna and Diana from Anna Green Gables, Mabel and Dipper, this lovely whimsical Appa shaker, which I love so much. Previously mentioned Hadestown keychains, Arthur and Merlin from BBC Merlin, Aziraphale and Crowley from Good Omens, Lestat, Louis, and 2 Claudias from Interview with the Vampire, Carmi and Sydney from The Bear, Megan and Graham from But I'm a Cheerleader, and Ilya and Shane from Heated Rivalry. And now these squares are merely a suggestion. When I designed the backboard, my intention was to have 1 keychain per square, but seeing that most of my keychains come in a pair, it made sense to have 2 per square. I also think it just looks better that way. I got some tiny command hooks, but upon actually trying to make these all fit for the first time, I realized that I couldn't hang them up on the proper keychain bit because then they'd be too long and the hook didn't fit through any of the lower rings either, so we improvise. Once again, a blue tag comes to the rescue. Here I kind of realized this was so much easier and I just decided to undo the command strips that I'd already placed down. But oh no, I ripped part of the surface off, which sucked, which is why we have backups. Also, no one told me that removing command strips was the most painful process ever. It was literally whipping me. This was just not a good time. I felt like I was being punished by the gods of the command strips. I made Strawberry Cookie almost 3 years ago, and she didn't sell at the last convention, though she was complimented, so I really hope she does this time. She's just the sweetest thing ever, and I think she deserves a good home, and she's also stuffed with recycled materials, so that's a plus. You want her so bad. You want her so bad. Or at least someone does. I hope someone does. My limited edition Heated Rivalry standee. I guess now all that's left is to pack, and I'll see you tomorrow for setup. We're waiting.
We're waiting.
We're waiting for our passes, and then we're gonna go in.
Yeah.
Pink. Yes, sir. Wow. Are we gonna take a tour? Prince? Yeah. What's that? Baddie alert. What? This is us after Tokyo Alley. Ah, we did it. Hi, it's the day after the convention and I'm so tired, but I thought I'd at least do a little rundown, a little debrief, because I feel like I owe you at least that. I feel like I didn't really record that much at the actual convention because things get kind of crazy. I'm kind of thinking of the best way to do this. I think I'll just take you through my con haul because I'm not exactly sure how I managed to acquire this many items considering that I was pretty much confined to behind my booth for the whole weekend, but somehow I found a way. So let's go through that. Also, they handed these out and I feel like I never want to take this off because I feel so whimsical in it. Anyway, let's get to it. Here she is. I'm not sure how I managed to do so much damage. Oh my god. I have no idea where I found the time or the money to acquire all of these goods, but here they are. These were all acquired through trades with other artists, and this was so fun because it was my first time doing it. Honestly, such a big perk of being an artist. What do you mean other people saw my stuff, liked it, and was like, here, you can have my gorgeous art in return, because I've never known such an honor. Anyway, thank you, Fantasy High and Oran. And Miss Fiona Apple, she's going onto my wall with the other women in armor. Good omens! This is Stuff Life Arts, by the way. It's Son, and she's so cute. She's got little Animal Crossing fingers. Ash from Sally Faye, which was kindly given to me by my friend. I was also given a bunch of people's OC trading cards, and I was so jealous. I was getting massive FOMO, so next time around, I'm definitely participating in this myself because I need to get my OCs out there. Another cool thing is I got my piece published in the convention's OC zine, so there she is! My OCs! We've got Danny and Flori and Benji, and there I am in the credits. I've written my little description. This has been such a good opportunity. I'm so happy. Here I've got 2 comics. This one was given to me through a trade. I'm so excited to read these. I started reading both of them during the con because I've really wanted to have a comic of my own. I've decided that the first step is taking a little look around at the local scene, gaining inspiration. This was the first convention I've been to where I found the Pit merch. Here I've got a little second one for my friend, but for now I've got 2. Haha. Honestly, I see the Pit and I have to buy it. I guess the true Pit is the massive Pit that is in my bank account right now. I love these pins so much. They're so silly. Oh my god. I almost forgot about the biggest purchase. I feel like it just needs a moment of silence. And I guess it's finally time to talk a little bit more about my own art for a second, even though everyone else's is so incredible. But I took the liberty of claiming some unsold merch for myself. So as expected, Huntrix did not sell well at this convention despite selling super well at the last one. But a pleasant surprise was that this new print that I debuted did really, really well, and this was actually the last one. So I'm taking this one for myself because I love it so much. I just think she's so pretty. And of course, the Powder and Echo print that I wanted to take for myself last time, but didn't get to. Well, now I get to. Also, surprisingly, didn't do as well as I thought it would. People have apparently forgotten about Arcane in the span of a couple months. People move on fast, and that's terrifying. I did promise myself that I would take the Orpheus and Eurydice keychain for myself this time, and I did get to. And here I've got Chef Sydney, my very own. Chef Carmi is on my backpack. I had all of them on there originally this morning, but I was walking just a couple of meters and I realized how loud I'd suddenly become. So I had to speed walk to the nearest bench and just chuck them in there real quick. So he's a lone survivor, but I love him so much. He's honestly one of my favorites, and I'm kind of glad in a sick and twisted way that he didn't sell because I wanted him for myself. Anyway, in closing, I had such an incredible time and I can't wait for the next one. Thanks for sticking around for my entire journey. I hope this helped you out if you're also thinking of doing something similar. Probably don't learn from me though, because I barely know what I'm doing myself, but if anything, maybe that gives you a sense of comfort. I can't wait to go to bed for at least a week. I guess I'll see you for whatever I get up to next. Bye!